Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, I'm going to put some timestamps in the pinned comment below because I'm going to do 3 different Divine Masculine readings, or in that format. So I'm going to do the first one for if you are blocked, or really like a no contact scenario. I'm just being told I'm going to do if you're blocked, like flat out, like don't contact me. If you are just sort of in an indefinite period of nobody's reaching out, but you're not blocked. If there is minimal communication. And the third, if you're in more close communication and you're kind of in the loop with, you know, regularly communicating well and all of that, but maybe wanting to take it to the next level still. So, okay, yeah, first scenario, flat out blocked. So what can we see is going on with the counterparts that are in a total block scenario? Like obviously blocked. What's happening in the connections? Sometimes life stings. I'm going to pull some clarifiers here and get into which deck do we want to use. Okay, we're going to do that. So what is going on? Actually, no, we're just going to do sometimes life stings. So I'm getting the first message from that is that the divine counterparts that have done the blocking are overwhelmed with some extenuating circumstance that has humbled them, that has knocked them down off of their high horse pedestal. Something they thought was guaranteed to work out in the way that they wanted it to was suddenly taken away, and they're left going, what the F? So yeah, let's see, for these divine counterparts, DMs that have had something coming up in their life that really ticked them off, that stung, that hurt them, that was unexpected, that they felt happened to them, you know, not for them at this point. What is it we can see? So how are they thinking and feeling about the divine counterpart? What would they say to my divine feminines that are watching, for the individuals whose lives had some overwhelming thing happen that has caused them to block the divine feminine in their scenario? And what will happen going forward based on the information that we see here? I'm being told one more time, shuffle. Okay, so for these counterparts that have blocked because there's something come up in their life, what are they thinking of the connection? Oh, they've put this connection on the back burner because something, abandonment trigger, some, like all hell broke loose. 10 of Swords is the rock bottom card. It's like, how do I ever come back from this? Like, I've put myself out there on the line. This was the best I could do, and it failed, flailed miserably. Like, this is rock bottom. So whatever it was, don't underestimate that for your person, it was game changer, life changer, intense, unforeseen, rock bottom. It's leveled their life. It's leveled the playing field with this connection, though, because it's about as far out there as their ego could go. Definitely the Tower card here is what they would say, but in the reverse, it's like this was an internal bomb that hit them, whatever this life circumstance was, and they literally don't have the ability emotionally, mentally, physically to look you in the eye right now. I just heard what's going to happen next. It's going to set them on their actual course for abundance, legacy, long term. 10 of Pentacles is the path of legacy. It's the straight and narrow, the high road. It is higher timelines. So whatever this was a divine detour, and it may have come to an end. this is such rock bottom energy that I would not doubt if some divine counterparts in this situation were having suicidal thoughts, if they were incredibly feeling forsaken by life, as people, just totally clueless. This is like, the only reason they would block you is because they were in this much overwhelm. So yeah, they're thinking of you. They do see you as a different example, but they're so consumed with what's going on in their life right now. Do not take it personally. You never should anyways. But this is like a confirmation it's them, not you. What are they thinking or feeling on the heart space for the connection? Oh my goodness. 10 of Swords again. Rock bottom. They are feeling like, here's you, Angel, Page of Cups. They're just hoping beyond hope that, you know, they've protected you from whatever this was, that they, it's like they've crossed over into no man's land, the valley of the shadow of death, and you are this otherworldly creature that's like safe in a snow globe or under glass somewhere. You're like so far removed from them right now that they can't even translate what they're needing to go through versus the opportunity that you've offered. It's literally like you're up in heaven, like with sunbeams shining on you, and they feel so far from you that, you know, also the headphones, they could be connecting with you in music. They could be very much just staying to themselves, listening to music, wallowing, healing, grieving, struggling, floundering, flailing. Yeah, it's really rock bottom energy. Like they're having an ego death here for those who have blocked. I don't want to lose you is what they would say. They know you're this like perfect little angel. They're not doing any of this against you in their heart space. They don't want to lose you, but they are going through it. Divine timing. So from this place, this is where we have this return. This is where we have a soul cry that says, I'll do anything if you just bring me out of this hell, God. Divine, like divine timing. They know that they can't do anything about their life circumstance right now aside from pray that the divine intervene, that you're in safekeeping, that things will be okay. Nothing they are going through right now is against you, divine feminine. What is their wish for the connection at this time? Progress. They want in time for the secret of what's happening in their lives right now to come to light, and for you to move forward together, at least as friends, I just heard. And I need more time. So this divine counterpart needs more time to balance out their thoughts, to come back from this, I just heard, to stabilize, to recalibrate, to get back on course. Yeah, Tower. This is going to be a major restructuring. This person's life is never going to be the same. If they have blocked you right now, they are going through a once-in-a-lifetime transformation that they will be forever changed after this. So they are wishing to just stay the course and continue to become stronger and to take each thought captive based on how they're evolving in real time. They need more time, but they're starting to see things coming in as a way of life, not so much naive anymore. This person has definitely had a reality check of the energetic kind, and they are no longer able to deny that their life was going in a direction that it will never go in again. What action are they taking? Empress and Emperor. Oh, this is their abundance. So yes, they're warming up to the idea that you actually have been their perfect match. They're saying here they need some more abundance. They need to tune into more of their higher timelines. I think we should slow down. So them putting you, Empress, in the reverse here is kind of like putting the brakes on a little bit too, so that they can balance out as the Emperor. They've got a lot of thinking to do about what just fell apart in their life, and they're getting a hard knocks lesson that the universe is saying, you know, what you thought you wanted with whatever just collapsed, that's actually not for you, Divine Masculine. You're going to have to regroup because that was the wrong direction. It's like the Divine just picked the Divine Masculine up and pointed them in a different direction. And so they're like, what just happened? What do I need to do here? So I think we should slow down. You know, the blocking that we're getting in this is really just a time capsule. It's like, for now, I can't do anything. I've got all this burden. Exactly. So this is the one wand that is the passion that will kick off here again. This is the burden clearing, never to be initiated again. And this new, more divinely guided, purpose-led existence that's going to stem from having gone down a detour in life and now having to rethink everything in a spiritual, energetic context. They've really seen that what they thought was appropriate for their lives, that's not in divine plan. It's unmistakable for this group. What is the biggest challenge for this group? Ego, strength, bravery, but also allowing this to play out and evolve organically in their life, like not fighting it, putting down the disbelief, the lack of faith, the mistrust, and really saying, okay, if I keep repeatedly failing at manufacturing a life in a certain direction, I need to concede. I need to humble. I need to start saying, what is the answer then? That's the challenge. So if I asked you to stay, would you leave? The challenge in this is that they chose other things, Divine Feminine. They tried to maybe be with someone else that has closed the door on them. They have tried to have success in a scenario that backfired. They have tried some business opportunity, anything that you have seen they did instead of your connection. They're like, I'll have to admit, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to entertain our connection or talk to me or see where this could go. Like if I said, I've learned from my misguided attempts and I actually choose you now, they don't blame you, Divine Feminine, if you said a little too late and walked the other way. This is going to cause them to want to work on this though. So sometimes we do have to try everything else just to see, and then, you know, confirm that the thing that we kind of knew all along was the real deal is actually the real deal. So in a way, they're acknowledging there has been a foundation laid here, but also they're acknowledging that they have never felt more likely to want to work on this than now, because they did think that something was better, grass was greener. What's the solution to this challenge of ego and humility and concession and reality check? We get the Seven of Wands to confirm the Seven of Wands here. So it is about bravery, but it's about opening the heart, not being in scarcity. So this is, divine guidance is saying that the reason these divine masculines who blocked went in those other directions is because they literally thought that was what they needed to do to protect their future, to secure their security, to establish the bomb-proof, fail-safe template that seems to be the traditional sure bet. Whatever that was has been blown out of the water, and they're being told that no, there's more in store. If you come into the abundance, if you come in, like we saw that Empress card, the abundance card coming onto the horizon, that's like this opening the heart chakra and desiring to not play it safe anymore. But it's like, if I have nothing to lose, I'm going to go for it. kind of a vibe. So divine masculine's watching. If you're watching this and you've blocked somebody, this is your permission to, like, what else do you have to lose? Like, just freaking go for your divine counterpart. Like, the love is there. What else do you have to do? This is a kick in the butt, divine masculines. Like, get on with it. Open your heart, be brave, grow a pair, get going, hit your divine feminine up, figure this out, heal, whatever you need to do. Oh, and I would do anything for you is the message here. So yeah, this is the answer. Like, I would do anything for you. I would go and be in a divine detour and try to do the worldly success so that I got it through my thick ego that these divine connections are where it's at. Okay, divine masculines, we'll take it, right? And let it sink in. So there is a period of integration that this new, unlimited, not fear-based model of success is available here. It's uncharted. We don't have examples of it for humanity. It's a new day. It's a new energy. We are designing it. So divine masculines, the guidance here is let it sink in that you are the trailblazer of this, and that no, there aren't examples, but you do have a counterpart that you do feel an affinity with. Pay attention to that, whether it's in the physical or in the energetic realms at this time. Let it sink in. You will be guided as it is applicable. What is the direction of this connection? Oh, grounding this. Here's the Emperor for the second time. So this is the rite of passage of the Emperors in pile 1 that have blocked. This is intense energy where they are really getting down to anchoring the higher love and leadership, surpassing the 3D templates, the material realm templates. That's, these Emperors are coming up from behind and definitely going across the finish line here. I can't even look at you right now. Yeah, there's a major transformation. You are not the priority right now, divine feminines. A complete restructuring of these Emperors' lives is on the to-do list. They are looking at what do they really want, not what the world has pitched them in a sales pitch, but what they really want. This is the gluttony. The 9 of Cups, in the upright can be gluttonous, greed, opulence, fame, fortune, all of that 3D constructs that we think if we just strike it big, we're going to have it made. That is not the originating energy. This heart alignment, what do I authentically align with? What do I authentically feel fulfilled with? That's what they're tapping into now, not the pretty kaleidoscope of options in the material realm. Okay, let's get a Starseed Oracle for this group, for my viewer. What can we see for this pile who has been blocked? Spine of Fire, true self, passion, motivation, and purpose. Exactly. These masculines are tuning into their life purpose, their true self, what is their passion, their alignment. And that motivation is going to completely restructure their lives. This is a rock bottom that they are never going to be the same again. This is them being born again, brand new into their lives. Okay. Let's see what we can. I'm going to clean these up and we're going to go to the next pile. Set those aside. Bear with me. Okay, we get 1843. Pile 2, welcome to your pile. So this is for minimal communication, or sorry, no. This is for those who have just fallen out of communication. There's no blocking per se. There's just this knowledge that nobody's making a move. You're in your own lanes. Maybe haven't had contact for 2 or 3 years even. This kind of energy here. I just saw the Fool, so there is a new cycle, a new start coming in. But what can we see for these divine counterparts in pile 2 that are out of communication, maybe don't have a lot of access or a way to connect, but they're not necessarily blocked. It's just definitely not in connection at this time. I'm getting for these masculines, there is potential for internet spying and that kind of a thing, but in general, we're not you know, on talking terms at this point. I just saw the weight and the beginning, the new beginning in the physical. So that's interesting in the messages here. Where are things going to be going for this pile in the near future? What is the next energy coming through? Bear with me while I shuffle all of these. Okay, so what can we see for this pile? Pile 2, minimal communication, or I mean no communication really, but just at a distance, maybe been out of contact for a while. What's going on as a general energy here in this pile? We get a few. We get watch and wait. So we did see the word wait. So I get for many, this is going to be coming in out of nowhere. Something is going to transform. Okay, this and that are true. So this is dolphin spirit. This is a bit playful energy, but it's really a learning and autonomy is what I'm getting here. Like very much coming into our own recognition of energy and starting to get the first leads or foundations in mission and purpose. And some in this pile have had children with other partners that are not the twin in this case. I'm seeing people starting new professions, new businesses, and not being in contact with their counterpart right now, not having a reason to, but also lots of other little kids and families starting and things like that. Potentially. So we're also getting take the lead. So this is where counterparts in this pile are innovating their own lives, but they're still like, why am I thinking of that person? Why do I still hear a song on the radio and this person comes to mind? Why is it when I get excited about the way my life is going, that person comes up? Why is it that they're the first person I think of when something major happens in my life? So for some, this is like 5 and 10 years out of communication even. These are long-standing connections that have gone through a solo motion. So what are these counterparts thinking of my viewer at this time of the connection? Yeah, they are feeling like in the past they held themselves back and they lost this opportunity. So they've never really been able to bring closure to your connection. They see the big picture, they see what a perfect match you were, but for whatever reason you rejected them, they rejected you, or it just fell off with no rejection really, because in these connections it's not really rejection of the person, it's more life circumstances. So yeah, they kind of long. There's a melancholy, there's this genuine nostalgia that I'm feeling here. There's this feeling like something's missing from their lives. And they think of you. What would they say? I don't want to lose you in the reverse. So it's like, why am I feeling like I could lose this person when they're not even in my life? They're like, why do I just always like have this rainy day mood about my person, about this person? Ooh, even slipping and saying about my person. See what happened there? It's like, are they mine? Can I lose them? Why do I feel this way about a perfect stranger I just heard? And lovers. So this knowledge of this higher love is sinking in. That's really interesting that after all this time, still thinking about each other and still seeing these correlations with life path and these different milestones. It's like, why is this person so central in my story of becoming? What is this? Why does it seem to support me? So they are very much thinking of your connection and whatever you crossed over into each other's lives as something that left an impression, stayed with them, it lingered. Your energy sometimes is, I heard they smell you still, your scent. It feels like you're near to them, and there's no reason that should be the case in their mind. But it's like that. It's like that. What are they feeling on the heart space for you? King of Swords and Nine of Cups. Well, they're very tempted to understand, like, when they're drinking, they're like, I should just hit them up, I should message them. For some, they have done this out of the blue at late. I'm seeing like 2 a.m., midnight, just like, hey, how are you? Or hey, like just hey. And like maybe it's gone to a junk folder, something like that. Maybe you found it months later, Divine Feminine, you're like, oh, I can't respond to that. But yeah, it's like when they are alone, up late, under the influence, they're like, I just feel tempted to reach out and wonder what they're up to. This is like the King of Swords is a not knowing what you're up to. And so when they drop their guard, they're like, well, I could just see if their number still works, or I could just check out their Facebook or Instagram and see if they're still active under that name. It's something kind of like that. So you are their greatest temptation. So I'm also feeling like some of them are in other relationships that it would be unethical, moral to reach out to you. It's like they are not letting themselves reach out because of other marriages, other circumstances like that. They feel for some reason it's inappropriate. I'm getting for some it's a workplace scenario or old colleagues, industry colleagues, something like that. They're not allowing themselves to follow that temptation to reach out, but you're like an ever-present temptation. I need more time. So whatever this circumstance is, they just feel on the soul level that they are meant to be where they're at, even though they can't stop wondering about you from time to time. Ooh, and some of them definitely fantasize. Some of them not getting a huge amount of sexual fantasy here, but possibly with the Knight of Wands. It is the Temptation card as well, Garden of Eden, like the forbidden fruit kind of thing. That passion is going to keep growing, especially if you're watching this reading, because you're going to be generating more of a magnetic pull because you're getting this encouragement that they're still thinking about you after all this time. So yeah, that's how energy works. It's not a coincidence that you were led to this reading to generate some of that magnetic attraction. But yeah, so some are going to be getting communication in secret moments here for this pile. So I'm getting for many there are other relationships or circumstances that are preventing them from reaching out like they would like to. So I just heard tread lightly and gently, carefully, not to be inappropriate. That does not mean that you have to flat out deny or downplay your attraction or the connection. If you do get communication is kind of set for this pile. Be authentic, but don't trespass. There is a way to navigate these connections that does not require you to lie about your side of the energy, nor overstep what's going on their side. You can walk that edge. And I do want to say that for situations like this where there are other relationships involved and people haven't done the soul searching to know if they are going to leave that current scenario or not, that where the unconditional love lays, that relationship is the primary one. So if your connection with this person truly holds the unconditional love and the other one is a karmic scenario that's out of convenience or a business agreement, something like that, your unconditionally loving scenario is a priority, and that's the one that people will grow out of the other one and grow towards in divine timing. What can we see for how these counterparts are wishing? Okay, so they are wishing for victory. Many of them are curious about opening their marriages, opening their existing relationships to include you or someone like you. So if there is another dynamic, they want to be able to include both energies at this point. It's like you could judge that it's have their cake and eat it too. It is a developmental stage where we're like, oh, maybe we can just make it all work, one big happy family. But energy doesn't work that way. Usually if a third energy comes in, it means that we're moving towards whatever lessons or awarenesses that third energy brings in and maybe outgrowing the other one. We don't usually have a long time standing in third-party situations because we're actively learning in those. We only open up the two connection when we're not satisfied fully on some level. And in these divine connections, we are going to a more perfected template. And so we do release the other things. It varies for everyone, but what are they wishing? They're wishing to have victory so that they can see you again, so they can engage with you, so they can explore it. I think we should slow down in the reverse. So they've been trying to stuff this down and they don't want to suppress it any longer. They kind of want to take action here. They want to hit you up. They want to talk to you. They want to see what you're up to. They want to see what your scenario is. And they want progress in their existing situations. This is a masculine taking a mother and child to safekeeping. So it's sinking in that they want to sort of off-level this burden so that they can be free-spirited, so they can keep growing in their life, is what I'm getting here. What are their actions at this time? They're waiting. They have you, Empress, on their mind. They are inspired. They are investing where they're at, but curious as to what fruit it will bear, because they feel like their abundance, their higher timelines are sort of passing them by. They're starting to realize if they stay where they're at, they may have regrets at the end of their life. It's kind of lighting a fire under their butt. If I asked you to stay, would you leave? In the reverse. So they've been thinking of reaching out and saying, I'm considering leaving this connection that I'm in. I'm feeling restless in my scenario. I'm kind of antsy. Maybe they haven't even come to terms with the fact that they're feeling that, but they're like starting to say, oh, what about my, counter you viewer? You're coming to mind more and more, and they're like, what am I feeling pulled to even offer them, or why would I connect right now? They're just sense that you have a more aliveness to you, and they're drawn to that. When they think of the best that they can attain for themselves, they think of someone like you also understanding what that's about. So secretly they are like, you represent whatever they would rather have in their life. What is their biggest challenge at this time? Tradition, the Pope, the Hierophant, and strength, ego, wanting to do the right thing. They want to be spiritually pious, I just heard. They want to be proper. They want to do it right. They don't want to be the bad guy. They want to be morally correct. They want to be exquisite energy. They want to be perfect. They want to be religious or spiritually blameless, energetically pure. And so they think hanging on to the status quo, following through with their commitments, having success where they're at, is the most appropriate thing in that light. But that's a problem, because that's not necessarily true. They need to let go of the rules and regulations and constructs and commitments that are burdensome. They need to evolve past that. They need to bring openness, spontaneity, freedom, light into those dark strongholds that allow them to keep living, to keep growing, that they should not bind themselves into things. So it's a problem because they feel like that's the higher path, the more morally correct, but they are getting it wrong. Freedom, joy, aliveness is actually energetically more pure. What would they say to you about this challenge? I would do anything for you. Yeah, they would do anything for you except buck tradition or look like the bad guy at this point. That means, if that's the one area they don't want to do, rest assured, if they say, I will never fill in the blank, it means they will. Our subconscious does not recognize the word never. So as soon as we say, I will never leave my marriage, beginning of the possibility that you probably will. That kind of thing. So watch for those nevers. Never say never. Never say never. Here's that Seven of Swords. So this is the rock bottom. Like, they're going to realize that they cannot breathe in the current paradigm, and whatever they said they'd never do, dun dun dun, here we go. What's the solution to this stronghold of never? Coming back around, 8 of Wands, 8 of Cups, infinity and beyond. So this is the telepathic, energetic alignment that they feel with you, divine counterpart, divine feminine watching. They are gone but not gone, and it's going to dawn on them that you are a primary energy in their consciousness, and just because they are not with you in the physical doesn't mean they are not living this sort of energetic double life. I can't even look at you right now in the physical. However, why do they need to? Because it's dawning on them that you've got this connection. It's like they're like, how do I even deal with the reality I'm sensing here? So you're not meant to, divine masculines that are out of connection with your divine feminine here. You are meant to really get real with your energetic housekeeping with where you're at. And karmic situations are left when we learn the lessons, not for a twin flame or another counterpart. And look at that, we get the Eight of Wands to clarify the Eight of Wands. So this energetic reality is going to be sinking in, sinking in. What's the direction of this connection in the near future? Hanged Man and Hanged Priestess, the High Priestess and the Hanged One, both in the reverse. These are both cards of being in between, taking action after having truths illuminated. The High Priestess is the mercy, humility. The Hanged Man is the headlock the universe puts us into when we need to understand things in a new way, when we're in between developmental stages. We get this. So with the Hanged Man in the inverse, it means we're coming out of that gridlock because we're admitting to ourselves these truths that are being seen. High Priestess in the inverse means action is starting after a period of non-action. So there's some movement. It's like the cosmic clock is starting to activate here. I worry about us a lot. Yeah, it's like to the far reaches of the universe. This person is like, I better take action or I'm really never going to know. And Hermit in the reverse. So all of the non-action cards in the major arcana have shown up here. This is truly about to go for it kind of energy in a life-changing way. What is the energetic card that we can get here? Starseed Oracle for this pile. Bliss, aspiration, and realization. Yeah, so for this pile, everybody's realizing that we could stay where we're at, we could settle, and it would be fine, but everybody wants an extraordinary life, and these connections represent and inspire and inform what that would look like. So yeah, amazing. Well, let's get into cleaning these cards up. Dun, 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 dun. Little interlude. Which ones can we get next? So I'm not even going to put the timestamp. If you have joined me for pile 2, don't mind what you see here. I'm just being my weirdo self. Okay, do a little bit of shuffling. Let's see what decks I'm going to use. Okay, I'm actually going to reshuffle this because I feel like the energy... Pile 2, go away. I want to do pile 3. Okay, what's the timestamp? 38:10. Hey, pile 3, what do we get here for this connection? So thank you, Divine Creator. What is the energy for pile 3? So this is people in communication with your counterpart. And I'm going to actually, my phone battery is really low, so I'm going to combine just any amount of communication right now. So this is for people in communication in sort of more unified motion, whether that's business, purpose, living situation, sexual connection. We're getting take a leap of faith. So communication in this pile is promoting, putting ourselves out there, getting into more of a productive flow, collaboration, taking a leap of faith that we don't have to have it figured out, but we can trust our hearts is what I'm feeling, and that it's going to unfold naturally because we are not fearful that we have to have certain boundaries up. We're walking the edge of, we know this is a unique connection, we know it has the potential to bring a lot into this world, but we're going to stay with it and not run from it. We're going to have this staying power. Taking the leap of faith means showing up for it and seeing what it is all about in any given moment. So let's get into it. For these counterparts, what can we see for how they are thinking and feeling, what they are wishing and doing, what the biggest challenge is at this time, what the spirit-guided solution for that challenge is, where the energy is going in the near future. And we're going to get a message from your counterpart in this energy of communication, some planning, some crossover, some things going on behind the scenes, not fully unified yet in every way, and where the energy is moving for this dynamic. What can we see? Okay, on the conscious mind for this pile. The unknown, yeah, Four of Swords. So third-party situations are no longer an issue. Even if there are other relationships going on, for this pile, those are not deal breakers for this connection. We're in autonomy, we're in our own empowerment, and we're going into the unknown more and more based on the idea that we know for sure these connections are connected. Look at this heart on this red string connecting the two individuals. So that is really being acknowledged by both here, and there is this uncharted territory. It's a leap of faith because it's into the unknown. We've never been here before as humanity. We've never been here as individuals. We've never had relationships that are this unconditionally loving, and this is the leap of faith. We don't want to turn our backs on this, and we want to see where it will go mutually. But there seems to be a bit of a spaciousness, a rest, an integration still happening, possibly a pause before more increase of activity in the connection. Maybe there's some planned meetups, some plans for 2023 that have been talked about. There's something like that in this energy that's allowing for the counterparts to just rest, catch their breath, deal with other things, the karma cleanup, more healing if needed, getting on to independent mission, different changes coming in. What would these counterparts say? You make me want to do bad things in the reverse. So they know that lust is not the attraction point here. They no longer want to do anything that would be low vibe because these connections have stood the test of time. They keep coming back around. There's no need to be fickle, flippant, shady, sneaky. There's too much authentic foundation here to do this cheapening motion. So yeah, there is that little bit of a rest. Your counterpart just feels kind of good about where things are at, and that they don't have to like do anything for fear of losing you. They don't have to lower their standards. They don't have to worry that you don't recognize this connection. There's a mutual vibe here. Yeah. So they may affirm this with a show of appreciation, putting your mind at ease. Like your counterpart is likely going to acknowledge through their own volition. They won't need to be asked. They will volunteer that they appreciate you, or you'll be in a high frequency and there will just be this exchange of acknowledgement here. So they're thinking, or there has recently been something that just grounds this a bit more. What can we see for how these counterparts are feeling on the heart space? Freedom and the Four of Cups. Wow. They feel very, very lucky to know you. They know that this connection has been through a thing or two. They know that they haven't always appreciated this connection for how vast, how unshakable it is. They're starting to see that there has never been a limiting of freedom in this connection, that no matter what, it has stood the test of time. They may not have accessed it the way that each of you or one or the other thought to at times. There may have been differences of opinions, but at the end of the day, nobody's freedom was overstepped. Nobody was told they were wrong. Nobody was invalidated. It has always honored the sovereignty and autonomy, even when preferences weren't met from one side or the other. It's always had a degree of spaciousness and freedom in it, what would they say? I can't even look at you right now. Yeah, this person is looking away. It's like it's coming in for them that they've got a lot of things that aren't this, a lot of things that limit their freedom that they've invested in, that by default take their freedom. They demand their time. There are things, karma cleanup and healing and certain inconvenient things they've set in motion are preoccupying them right now and stopping them from being able to come fully forward into investing in this connection. And they're saying, thank goodness that the love is here, because I have things I genuinely need to be taken care of on my side, and I can't look at you right now, but I know you're there. I know there's this unfinished business. I know that there's more potential. I know that it can flower, but there are things that I need to take care of so that that or anything else is available in my life going forward. It's helping them find the freedom, finding that baseline that they want to overcome these things that are taking their priorities. The fives are about changes, so they are wanting to streamline and continually be inspired by the freedom in this so that they don't get into karmic binding things. This is a baseline and a measure for them so that they know what freedom feels like, so they can keep evolving in the rest of their lives. Yeah, there's a lot of difference of opinions over on their side of the energy. So while it may seem like a standstill with you in some regard, they're kind of protecting you from the messiness in their life in other regards. You'll know how that resonates for your connections. What is the wish this person has for your connection? They want to have more to give. We got give in the reverse, so they feel like they want to stop investing. This is giving me that feeling of switching in the Six of Pentacles, the breadcrumbing. They want to be able to give more fully into the things that have freedom, into the things that are made of unconditional love. They don't want all the options anymore. They don't want to be spread thin. What would they say to you? I worry about us a lot. Yeah, they don't like having to share and be spread too thin with this connection and the other things on their plate. They want it to, the squeaky wheels. They don't want the squeaky wheels to keep squeaking. They want to give those things grease so they can cruise along with you in comfort, in style, I heard. Yeah, they want to take what they can from other situations that they've been tending to and plant a new crop with you. They want to invest with you. They want to take, so some are leaving marriages right now, some are leaving work scenarios, major transitions in lives where there has been a degree of investment or effort or patience required, and now they are seeing the beginning of being able to take what is theirs from that and begin to come into more alignment with the best shot this connection could have. But they are worried because it's taking a long time, because they're still tied up, because they're still having to give to other scenarios, but it's starting to become more apparent to them that their freedom is rising. What can we see for what they are doing in their lives? They're innovating, they're daydreaming, they're creating in their mind, not out into the world to the degree they will, because it's not quite time yet. But there's a changing of the guards. They're putting down the guard, they're trusting divine timing more, they're becoming more peaceful, they're becoming more grounded. They're not having to expend so much hard work anymore because they've learned manifest smarter, not harder. And they're realizing that this generation of authenticity, of potent source-based creativity is where it's at. They don't have to bulldoze in their lives anymore. So they're switching gears. They really are. What would they say to you about this? Wrongful advice. Yeah, they're seeing how the ways of the world keep you bound in cycles, the hamster wheel. And they're really understanding that their heart knows a better way. This connection has shown them a better way. Yeah, free will. They're taking their free will back. They're empowering themselves. They are the ones qualified to call their own shots in their own lives. They didn't know that. When they were not as mature as they are now, they were giving away their power. They now see where they can remove their blinders, and so they have more control over how they want to perceive their reality and what they want to do about it. And they are now the authority of their life. They are authoring their life. They are coming into more of the ability to make choices that are healthy for them and their goals, and to own their goals. So this is the beginnings of mastery and compatibility on that level. What's the biggest challenge? Soul searching, letting it sink in. Having true freedom, unbridled passion, wanting that. Their soul is calling for it. They are wanting to get past this stage where they can't go full in, full tilt. Happiness is my priority. Yeah, so they know it's not always easy, but they're never going to put their happiness on the back burner again. You know, a lot of times the player energy looks like it is all out for them and their happiness, but it's not. That's an insecure energy. Happiness truly being the priority is owning it, doing the cleanup, being accountable, coming into that core stability. The Hierophant. So this is nobody's truth outside of my own connection to source, the sovereignty. This is anchoring, this higher knowledge, the channeling. It's establishing here. Look at how the soul is in the inverse and the Hierophant here. It's like this open, the crown chakra, and downloading. It's like all coming down to the core. It's all guidance. It's higher guidance. It's this spiritual, energetic way of living. What is the biggest challenge at this time? Oh wait, that was the challenge, is getting this instruction in this autonomous way. What's the solution? The choices and the rock bottom. It's like transforming the lives here. It's one choice at a time. It's now energetically choosing rather than doing what the world would say. Let me have you in the reverse. So they are seeing a time when you are going to be priorities in each other's lives, but they know it's not quite yet. There's still all of this change to be had. Yeah, here's that Six of Coins, having to give into certain situations, and now being able to pull out the resources, the time, the money, the material assets, all of that from pre-existing karmic things into being able to put that now in directions of abundance and the extraordinary timelines, the life affirming, the aliveness, the generation of more. What is the direction these connections are going on? Seeking to free from codependency. I'm getting a car alarm. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like a little bit stressful because there are still things when we look at the cosmic perspective, these galaxies and things this person is looking with a telescope. There's this distant star path, this more cosmic perspective, but we're still pulling ourselves out of the binding, out of the old templates. So it's the grunt work right now. I am addicted to you. Another devil card in the reverse. So they're not addicted to you anymore. As they come into more authority of themselves, the rite of passage of karmic cleanup that qualifies them to be whole in themselves, the magnetic pull they have for you is deepening into love. It's not so much of a, I've got to get to them, they are the answer. It's not the pedestal. So you're coming down off the pedestal, and they're now, the reality that you are a perfect match for them is sinking in. So it's not so much a coveting, it's a more like, oh, they are for me. This is the answer to prayer. This is a divine gift. This is a perfect match. It's not that this is a unobtainium. Anyways, yeah, you're not the heroine anymore. You are meant for them. It's not so manic. It's a reality sinking in that you're actually meant for them. they do see this is going to be moving forward, but that there are certain developmental stages that have to be considered right now, and it's just watching the things take root in the 3D, the changes taking place in the 3D. It's only a matter of time, I'm hearing. Okay, a last card for this group. Chakra Kabbalah, spiritual path, life lessons, and karma. Exactly. For this path or this pile, it's literally just doing the due diligence in the 3D now, so that these connections can be free to be enjoyed. All right, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.